be carved in there.
Anyone else want to speak on this?
There's some guys back there. Don't want to come in here.
They're all here supporting all of that, so you're showing support.
You want to show what you put together, the posters?
For Matty and Bishop, and I've heard about Bishop that he's got the tube out of his head and that swelling's gone down, so that's a good sign that he's staying strong like he always is, and we're still in support of Matty very much and Cindy, and we're still holding on and moving on with our days and still praying for them that they're up there dancing and looking down on us, and just we appreciate that, all the love and support that we got from everyone since it happened. And we continue to have the love and support and everyone to stay strong and to try to cancel this street racing, because like, there's really drag strips that is legal, and you can go to drag strips and race, that's legal. But people need to stop being stupid and driving in public roads and being reckless and risking innocent lives, because you never know. You to have your loved ones, the next moment, a car crash, and they're gone. And like, we just need to stop that street racing. People are being stupid, being reckless. Like, people are out here trying to live their daily lives, and people being stupid. And we need to bring a stop to the street racing and everything.
Well said.
Honestly, I think one of the most important things we could do is like y'all were saying, talk to the high school kids, because that's our target audience right there.
The high school and middle school, because once they hit middle school, they should be able to know, hey, I know a little bit about cars, I want to start learning. They need to learn.
And I'll give a watching to make sure you guys do that.
But the word we need to get to them is, what is the penalty if you go out and do something stupid? You know,
That's what needs
the penalty needs to be the education. Okay, if you go, you're going to get week in jail, whatever the penalty is for the Class C misdemeanor. I wonder
Can they show those cars?
Yeah, I wonder in the defensive, well, not defensive driving, but in the driver's education, when I was a kid, it was all about drunk driving and drugs driving, but I wonder if they do cover street racing and showing.
Texting and driving.
I always keep saying that, we don't live in the same world we lived back then. Now we're dealing with the texting and driving and the racing and all that stuff. I think we do need to do that with our schools and try to get them educated.
Well, the citizens, when they got tired of the DWIs, they went and started court monitoring and putting up pressure on the legislature to take things that I remember when I was an officer out here, I was just talking about it the other night. We picked up a guy who had 18 DWIs, and we gave him his 19th. It took people like Matt, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, going to court and sitting there, looking at the judges, and then going down to the legislature and deciding that we're tired of this. Now you get an DWI, you've got problems.
How do you have a 19th opportunity? I said, how do you have a 19th opportunity? You should be behind bars for good at that point.
Yeah, even back then, supposedly your third one was a felony, but it was always passed down, and it'd get plea bargained down to blocking the roadway or some other term, but the legislature finally got the message and said, we're going to put the teeth into the law, and then
hopefully, because there's not
slow it down. They haven't stopped it.
I'm calling our congressperson and I'm letting him know that we are going to go as far as we can with this, but I think it needs to really, if they kill somebody out of negligence, it's gross negligence. I think if they kill somebody, they need to make it manslaughter.
I think
murder.
Maybe you can get with school police and y'all put together some type of program, or maybe to, especially since it happened here in school. I'm sorry? I said they might already have one with the school.
They may need to make it mandatory.
Yeah, but...
Well, I don't mean to interrupt. So I agree with going to the school. But again, that's not always, until, that's just one avenue, and that's just one speed bump along the way. Until the price and the consequence is so heavy, they don't want to make that stupid choice,
You're right.
it's not going to work.
That's exactly
you know?
right.
You're right.
So this is one step, and then another step is the parents. I do believe parents have to be held, with higher consequences as well. And you know how insurance, you get breaks, like, on your prices, if you have those things, I mean, things like that monitor kids driving. And once they get, it monitors them at speeding a certain amount of time out, you lose your license.
Or shut your car down.
Exactly. So there are I think a lot of different routes. School is a good one. It may very well be the least effective one, but you have the broadest audience, and you can get a good message through. But everything else has to be done too. They have to complement each other.
And we do, if y'all don't know, we have 3 officers on duty at all time in separate cars. They're in their own cars. They're 3 miles square, but they still can't.
Well, and I was impressed one time, they actually have routes. I hope I'm speaking correctly, but they have routes that they take that keep them they cover every area at so many points a day, or, you know, and so it's really not like they're trying to do everything, they're trying to monitor the entire city. And unfortunately, it's one of those instances where when you're not here, the ignorance happens here, and you run over here, and then the ignorance. I do believe we have to build our police force, but there are obstacles to that too. But that doesn't mean we can't try, and it doesn't mean we're not. I do think that they recruit and try to get people in. But again, I think as long as our voices stay aligned, and we're not blaming, and we keep momentum and power behind this, and we have people willing to take it up to the people that make the laws, then I think we can do something about it, as long as we're all working together.
Just a follow-up question for the chief. I live on the south part of town, on Winter Street, but we also have school-time traffic, just people darting down the neighborhood streets. What is the best course of action for community members to help if we start seeing one car in particular that does it every day? Like, what's the best way to report that?
Call us.
Okay.
Call us.
Is it best to have the plate number and everything?
Any information you can get that would help us identify the vehicle, that's what we...
Videotape it.
Chief, we also have online reporting,
Yeah.
the traffic complaint form, we get those too.
Everybody has cameras.
If you call us,
Yeah.
we'll know about it.
Okay.
You know, if you email it, we'll see it in the morning when I get to work.
Awesome, thank you.
I got one follow-up to that. I got a lot of cameras on my house. If I see somebody speeding on my cameras and I send you the recording several times over, is there anything you can charge them with or go after?
Not necessarily. In order to issue citations for speeding, I have to personally witness it taking place.
That's just like the cameras they did away with 5 years ago, something like that.
Yes, sir.
In the case of these underaged, I'm sure my kids probably went over the speed limit a time or two. If I got a phone call from the police department saying that they had been reported, there would have been action taken at my house. So is that something that if somebody calls you and lets you know that, even though you can't write a ticket, what about the idea of calling the parents and saying,
Would you be able to identify the vehicles off of your videos?
Yeah.
Like license plates and everything? Well, there's that.
I mean, that seems like
We could always...
that could cut some of it down if you get your car taken away from you for a period of time. You're not gonna speed during that period at least.
Seems that happened with that kid with that Mustang at that time when his dad found out about it and he took the car. That was it. He didn't just take it, he sold it.
That's what my dad did. I was going 5 miles over the speed limit, Neverman, Texas. And, yeah, my dad was best friends with Chief of Police. He got a phone call really quick, and my car got sold. I had it. Yeah, I cried. Yeah, that's messed up.
So, if we actually see someone speeding, and we call it in, what's gonna happen to them?
we'll see if we can find them. You know, that's the big problem, is people will call in,